Hello, my name is Jeff Yankee. I'm in your class for this session. I'm doing the visual and video portion of the weightlifting. We're going to be doing the squat today. This is my worker, Jack, who's going to be helping me demonstrate the squat. The purpose of the squat is to build 4 key muscle groups: your quadriceps, your gluteus maximus, your hamstrings, and also your thigh adductors. Those are the major groups we're really going to be hitting on this workout today. We also, while we're doing squats, we're also strengthening all the muscles and ligaments and tendons around the knee as a whole, just the same. We're going to have Jack come over here to the rack itself. We're in an inclusive rack, which is good. It means that you only need one spot during this whole thing, because we do have these set up at his hip so he can get to parallel without actually touching the rails themselves. Now, when Jack walks in, the first thing I'm going to ask him to do, walk in, get his hands right here on the bar. You're going to see a couple of small spots where his hands are going to be safe. The reason why we want his hands inside is so when he goes to re-rack it, we don't want his hands to be pinched on the corners of the rack itself. Now, the next key issue for Jack will be is to have the bar at chest height. So when he walks underneath it, he's going to put the bar across his traps. When he retracts his scapulas, he's going to cause a natural cleavage in here. When he puts the bar in, your finger will be able to go through it. His scapulas will be retracted, depressed a little bit as he puts the bar across here. Go ahead and do that, Jack. And at the same time, he wants both his feet at the same distance right underneath the bar. He's going to stand up with it. He's going to take a couple of steps back. He's going to put his feet a little bit wider and shoulder width apart. His toes pointed outwards. This is called an athletic stance. And what this will do will give him a great base and a great balance. Now, when Jack starts, and I'll tell you when to go, when Jack starts the squat itself, we're going to want him to go to absolutely parallel. That means his legs from his knees to his hips will then become a table, or in other words, a lap. We want that to occur. It will be a nice slow down, and then we want a powerful up. In all the readings that we have had, explosions about the first 0.02, 0.03, we really want to explode because it's going to work his hip, his knee, and his ankle. This is called a multi-joint movement. It's one of the greatest things we can do for our athletes in our program. Go ahead, Jack. He's going to keep his head looking up, nice flat back, and quick up. His head, he's going to try to keep his eyes up there by the speaker to keep his body erect. We want to make sure that occurs. Nice and easy form, great parallel form. He'll do one more for us. Great work. Now, when Jack goes to rack, what we want to do as a spotter is help walk him forward, make sure it's against the rack, and then we'll slightly round it right into there. Now, those are the correct form. There's some things that happen. We're going to stand right here. If Jack has the weight on him, and he goes into a squat, go ahead for me and do a squat. We always want to make sure the hips stay beneath them. What sometimes happens with some of our athletes, the hips start to come up first. When that happens, the back starts to round. When that happens, we leave our spine vulnerable to injury. So we always want to make sure that we're right here with them, coming all the way up. And one last spot, if he goes for super heavy weight, we can do one of two things. I can get in there with him, right behind him, or I can have myself and 2 other people. If he gets to a heavy weight, I take my hands, put them right here in his chest, come down, and this way, if he starts to weave too far forward, I can pull him right into my chest to keep his body erect. Once again, we want to make sure that spine is stacked right on top of one another. That's where our greatest stability is in the squat technique. And there you have the squat performance and how to do it correctly.